Okay, hello everyone. I'm JongHyun from Passwordless Alliance. Before I go into, let me introduce myself. I'm the cybersecurity expert who wrote for ITUT standard so far, and then having a 25 years work experience. So with that understanding and with my knowledge, I wanted to open my. So I wanted to open. I wanted to deliver the fact first. The most of cyber attack always start with the accounting takeover and ended with the data encryption and theft. That's the cyber attack, right? That's the starting point and end point. So to respond to that attack, I chose that title. So how to protect our account and data? That could be the solution. So with the ITU standard, I'm gonna respond that attack. So after checking out the recent cyber security challenges, I'm gonna try to solve how can we protect the account, how can we protect the data. That's the my presentation goes on. So as I pointed out, there always a cyber attack that start with the account takeover and ended with the data encryption and theft. So, but the problem is while we are using the software, so there are so many vulnerabilities, and also as a human being, we made a mistake. While we are opening the website or opening the email and open the Office file, without knowing what we are doing, then naturally the malware comes in our PC, and then attackers can run any malware on our PCs. While the malware running on our PCs, if we enter our password or OTP code, it can go to the hackers. So they can impersonate us. Or if any malware running on our PCs, hackers, by running any ransomware or data like that, the malware, they can steal our data or they can encrypt our data. Besides that, for the web server, by running the remote code execution, they become the admin of our web applications. So with if they run the RC attack, they bypassing the server admin authentication. And then they become the admin of our web server. They can do what the regular server admin does. The worst case is in past that attack done by the human, but now we are living in the AI-driven we are living in the AI era. Nowadays, AI-driven motion hacker tirelessly and automatically attack our PCs and servers. That's the digital world we live in. So we cannot completely prevent the malware from running on our PCs and servers. That's the fact. So attackers can exploit unknown vulnerabilities before patch released and applied to our system. So how many vulnerabilities are found? So last year, 40,000 CVE was found. Even the one vendor, sometimes they have the 900 a year. So our question is, how can you protect our account and data before patch are released or applied on? So with that security challenges, let me answer how we can protect the account and data. So as I mentioned that if there any malware running on PCs, anytime they can steal our credentials. But as a user, we have to authenticate ourselves to the online system. So while we are typing any credential to the system, if someone in the middle, they can steal our the input data. So why is the responsibilities on the user only? So to overcome that inequality, X.1280 was standardized. The key concept of this international standard is shift the responsibility from the user to the online system. If X.12 is applied on any online services, what the user does, just type the user ID only, the online system present automatic code to the user, and the user verify the code with their smartphone. So it's not transferred, it is generated on the user's smartphone. If the two code is matched, by giving the user approval, user can get into the system. Whenever I show it to the audience, I already got the question. It's exactly the same like OTP, but OTP, that is asking user input the 6-digit code to the system. But the one you saw is the online system present the 6-digit code to the user, and user verified code on the smartphone and approve it with their biometrics. So we change the role from the inputter to the approver. That's the X.1280. So it can work on the mobile app. Instead of typing the password on the app, we make the app present the automatic code to the user, and then user can verify the code on another app. Not only for that, when we go to the office, instead of typing the password to the Windows, we make the Windows present the automatic code to the user, and then user verify the code on their smartphone with their biometrics. And not only for that, it also works in the Linux. Inside of Linux, so far, as a system admin, we have to input our credentials to the Linux. But as you can see that, we make the Linux system present their automatic code to the user, and user can verify that. By doing so, from the user standpoint, we can get rid of the vulnerability. And then we can verify where we are connected with always. And it is easy to apply on by adding the authentication server to the legacy system. We can distribute this system. And then it has 5 benefits, but the time of limit, the lack of my speech time. So let me introduce the 3 benefits. This technology is phishing-free authentication technology. The reason is, so existing attack relying on user input. However, as you saw that, it is output-based authentication from the system to the user. And then once the user sees that code, by comparing that code one on the smartphone, and then if the user approves with the biometrics, the user, the authentication code goes back to the server. It is signed by the private key on the user smartphone. So because of that, it is mutual authentication. So traditionally, the server authentication and user authentication was separated. One user, this is the mutual authentication is done within one single touch. So, and this is the most cost-effective biometric authentication technology. The reason is the traditional biometric authentication technology, when you use FIDO or passkey, whatever it is relying on the embedded authentication technology. So because of that, each device have to have a biometric sensor. It needs a cost. When we use a smartphone, always the smartphone has a biometric sensor. But when we use a laptop, expensive laptop could have a biometric sensor. But the regular one doesn't have. And then when we use a desktop at the office, if there is no biometric sensor, we have to plug in the USB-based biometric sensor. It needs a cost. But by applying X.1280, without having, we can use the user device, any user devices, if it has a screen. By presenting the automatic code from the devices without having a biometric sensor, we can authorize the transaction with a biometric sensor on our smartphone. So because of that, it reduced a lot of cost. So let me play the one more video clip. So at the ATM, it's one of the IoT device. So at the ATM, instead of typing the PIN code, we make the ATM present the automatic code to the user, and the user can verify the code on their smartphone. As you can see that without adding the biometric sensor on the ATM, we can authorize and we can authenticate the user simultaneously. So it works very well on the AI. The reason is, as you notice that we can distinguish who is a real genuine AI service by applying X.1280, as what we saw before, and it is also work in the AI agent. The AI agent that is simply on behalf of the user. It handled a lot of job, but to make them work, we have to hand over our key to the agent. We have to give our password to the AI agent. That's the problem. So some of you here might wondering, shouldn't I share our key to the AI? Or is the password I entered is it really safe? In the future, if the AI betray us, we may be in a very dangerous situation. Instead of hand over our key by applying the X.1280 to the online system, while we make the AI agent work on behalf of us, we can keep our control. So let me play one more video clip. That I already I entered the prompt to the ChatGPT AI agent to log in passwordlessly and then do the job for me. And then, as you can see, that AI agent bring the automatic code, and then I approve it with my smartphone. I'm not losing my control while I'm using the AI agent. And then, as you can see, that AI agent worked it well for me. Yeah, by shifting the responsibility from the user to the online system, we can make our life easier and convenient and cost economically. Yeah, that's the X.1280. So it is already used in #1 housing bank and commercial bank and national security research institutions and so many national railroad system as well. So the editor of the X.1280, we formed the passwordless alliance to distribute this technology, to the world free of charge. We provide this software to the all B2C online services on the globe. It's a free software, it's a free education. Anyone can download, and if they apply this technology to their B2C website, they can get rid of the user password. As an independent organization, we are invited as an innovative organization in WSIS, and then in there, the French company and Ecuador government organization, they spoke about the passwordless alliance, how they changed their society and existing system. And then they sent me the appreciation letter and gold plate. That's the first answer, how we can protect the account with the international standard. And then let me move on to how to protect the data. So as I mentioned that if the malware running on our PC, by applying X.1280, we can protect our authentication and password. However, our PC and server keep having a vulnerability. So because of that, if a attacker penetrate our PC, they can keep run the malware, and then that malware can steal our data, and they can keep encrypt our data. And that method also work in the server as well. So we wanted to, and if they come into our PCs, they already have admin privileges. If they already have admin privileges, preventing that attack is technically impossible because they are admin. So to answer that situation, ITU released the new standard as X.1220. So the key idea of this technology is adding an examination layer to those storage. Just by adding the one more security layer to the storage, we can overcome the data theft and ransomware attack. Look at this diagram. So traditionally, we use a network protection and endpoint protection. But on the storage, there is no security layer. If bypassing the newcomer, the traditional protection mechanism always work with a blacklist. They can block who is black guys. But if the newcomer comes in and if they bypassing the existing security measure, in that case, the data in the storage can be encrypted or fished out or breached out. By adding the secret layer into the storage, we can make our data safe. This technology works with a whitelist. It only allows the pre-registered application to access the data. By doing so, we can prevent any kind of new attack. So because, as you can see the diagram, the host can be the PC or server. Instead of mounting the storage directly to our PC and server by placing the file server in the middle, and then the registered application in there. And then if any data request comes in, it examines what application tried to access the data. But that application was not pre-registered. It provided fake data with read only. It was pre-registered in case it provided real data with read-write attribute. Only the pre-registered application can access that. So because of that, the user, the application run by the user can read the data in the storage protection, but the application run by the hacker cannot access the data in the storage protection server. So for your clear understanding, let me play one more video clip. I already put the document file in my network drive, but I didn't register the Microsoft Word as a pre-registered application. So because of that, file was provided to the fake data. So because of that, the file was not opened. But let me adding the Microsoft.exe file as a pre-registered application. After the registered application, Word can read the data. But to register the application, it required the OTP code. From the beginning, we does not trust the environment of a user PC. We assume that the malware is already running inside the PC. So because of that, we're adding. Okay. So by adding the OTP code outside of PC, we can protect data. It can apply on the web server or the AI engines or humanoid robot or the key wallet on the blockchain. It can apply on everywhere. Okay, so compared to the backup is the recovery solution rather than prevention. But this technology is prevention solution, and it protects even the final data. Backup only can recover up to when the backup data was created. But this is the protection mechanism up to the latest. It is already used in a lot of organizations and financial sectors. And then some of the editor of this international standard formed the protectmedicaldata.org. So if you go there, you can download the free software only for the medical institutions. The reason we formed this organization is the medical institutions was the first target by the attackers. Yeah, so we wanted to contribute to society. Okay, let me summarize up. As I mentioned that our PCs and servers can be compromised anytime. And with X.1220 and 1280, we can protect and account in data, even if the admin privileges are already compromised. And then with or without budget, we can protect our society and system. And then the technology only cannot change the society. The technology requires the updated compliance. So the reason I stood here is that I wanted to keep the society safe through PPP. So if you have any interest in the collaboration with private, yeah, feel free to contact to me. Okay, thank you for your listening.